As any aquarist will tell you, the main problem within this hobby is algae and keeping your tank clean. But what if I told you that there are certain fish out there that can help keep that algae growth down and can help keep your aquarium clean? Well, there is. So let's take a look at what fish will help you keep the maintenance to a minimum within your tanks. Hi, I'm Russ and I've been in the aquarium hobby now for over 40 years, and today we're going to take a look at what is commonly known as the cleanup crew. Now, some of the fish that I'm going to mention today aren't normally seen as being cleanup crew, and some of the things I'm going to mention today, half the people in this hobby hate and half absolutely love them. So we'll start and we'll take a look at what I think is probably the best algae eater in the hobby, and that is the Otos. It's also known as the dwarf suckermouth catfish, and it originates from South America. It'll grow up to 1.5 inches, but they will gladly feast on the algae within your aquarium. They're peaceful and they're a beautiful fish to look at. They are best kept in groups of 6+, but because they are such ferocious algae eaters, I would advise not to have more than 8, unless you are obviously going to give them some kind of algae wafer in their diet. But to start, the Otos, one of the best algae eaters in the hobby and extremely peaceful. The next fish on my list today would be the Siamese algae eater. These are a great fish for eating algae, but they are commonly sold in the aquarium hobby as flying foxes. Flying foxes are not Siamese algae eaters. The way you can tell the difference is a Siamese algae eater will have clear fins, whereas a flying fox tend not to. So when you go out, just be careful that you are actually buying Siamese algae eaters, because they will eat your algae, but the flying foxes won't. And as I say, they are missold quite a lot. Flying foxes can be quite aggressive and not really great community tank fish, so be careful when you buy them. But Siamese algae eaters do make excellent cleanup crew. The next fish on my list of great tank cleaners are the corridoras. Now, obviously, people don't look at corridoras as really being cleanup crew because they're not really going to be eating the algae or anything like that. But what corridoras do is they whiz around the bottom of your tank, they're stirring up any detritus, they'll feed on any waste food that makes it down there. But the main thing, as I say, they stir up detritus back into the water column, which is then taken out by your filtration system. Corridoras are one of the cutest fish to look at. There's so many different types in the species. So again, best kept in groups of 6+. They're so active that they are great for helping keep your tank maintenance to a minimum. The next fish on my list of tank cleaners today would be the Plecos. Bristlenose Plecos tend to stay quite small. Just be careful when you are buying Plecos, because some do grow massive. Some, that is the common Pleco, that grows to about over a foot in length. So sometimes you do have to watch where you're buying Plecos. But a Pleco, although you will rarely see them during the day, they will eat on the algae and they will help you with your maintenance. Sadly, some Plecos are quite expensive and they are rarely seen, but when you're in bed, they come out and they're doing the maintenance for you of keeping that algae to a minimum, which helps you enjoy your hobby more and also helps your maintenance day go a lot quicker. If you provide your plecos with caves and you have a male and a female, especially with bristlenose, as they get a little bit older, they are quite easy to spot, male and female. The male will have bristles on his nose, hence the name, and the female will have very little bristles, if any. If you've got caves that there is only one entrance to, then your plecos will breed quite easily, and they can also offer you then a source of income. The next fish on my list of tank cleaners today would be the Coolie loach. Coolie loaches are a great lively fish, although some people do say they rarely see them. When I had Coolie loaches, they were always out at the front, whizzing around at the glass. They are more of a bottom feeder, so they will take any of the waste food that reaches the bottom, and like the Corydoras, they will whiz around the bottom and they will stir up detritus into the water column, which can then be taken out by your filtration system. If you do have Coolie loaches in your aquarium and you have a canister filter, just make sure that you do have foam over the canister filter's intake. Otherwise, your Coolie loach will enter your filter at the first chance it gets. The good thing with Coolie loach being a part of your cleanup crew is because they are slender, more snake-like, they can get into some pretty tight spaces and get them little bits of food that have fallen down cracks that no other fish can get to. So are they a great addition to your tank? Definitely. I would have Coolie loaches in my aquariums all the time if I could get hold of them, but at the moment, quite hard to get hold of from where I live. But if you can get Coolie loaches, make sure you add them to your tank. They're a great lively fish and you will not be disappointed. If you have made it this far into the video, I thank you so much. If you could just click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that'd be great. I'm not sure if you missed the announcement that I made a few days ago regarding the collaboration between BGN Aquariums and the Facebook group Fish Keeping in the UK, but we have joined forces. I have become their first authorized YouTuber on the channel. That will help us all. It will help me grow my channel, it will help the Facebook group grow, and it will also help you. How will it help you? If you follow the link in the description and join the Facebook group, you will be welcomed by 10,500 members. It's a great friendly group and everyone's there to help, including myself. I will be doing exclusive videos for the group as well. So if you're not a member of there, click on the description, go to the link, follow it and join the group, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. The next fish on the list of tank cleaners may come as a little bit of a surprise for you today, but I'm going to say mollies. Mollies come in many different colours. They're a peaceful live bearer and they make a great addition to any community aquarium. What is little known about mollies is they do eat algae. So if you have a BBA, black-bearded algae problem, then mollies will eat away at that algae for you. So little known about them, but they are a great tank cleaner. The next great addition to any community aquarium to keep algae to a minimum would be the Amano shrimp. Amano shrimps were introduced into the hobby many years ago, and they are great at keeping that algae to a minimum. One thing I would say is though, when you're adding things like Amano shrimp and even down to your Neocaridina cherry shrimp, just be careful because they are great community tank additions, but you just have to watch what you have in there. Now this aquarium here, the Rainbowfish tank, I can't put shrimp in here because Rainbowfish will feed on your shrimp. So you just have to be careful. But if you have small aquarium fish like harlequins, tetras, etc., then a great addition to that aquarium to keep algae at bay would be a shrimp, especially the Amano shrimp. The next addition to your aquarium to keep algae to a minimum and to also just help with the general maintenance, but sadly frowned upon by many in the hobby as snails. Now I love snails in my aquarium, but I will admit when I first set up this tank and I put plants in and I noticed snails, I was pretty gutted. I didn't really want snails in my aquarium, but snails do so much for your aquarium. They're going to be eating away at the algae, they're going to eat away at any rotting foliage on the floor of your aquarium, they're going to be eating any kind of waste. So snails, to me, are a great addition. Once I realised just the work snails did, it did change my outlook on them. Nearite snails are a great addition to your aquarium. You do have to watch though with the nearite snails, because the females will lay these little white eggs. They won't hatch out because they need salt water, and they can become quite unsightly. So if you can manage to get male nearite snails, then they're just going to be little workhorses for you. Plus, I also love snails. I love those little ram's horn snails. You can get them in so many different colours. And as I say, they're little workhorses. They're going to eat any detritus, any waste food. And if you don't overfeed your tank, you're not going to be overrun with snails either. But, like I say, a lot of people don't like them. But if you can get over the fact that there can be a pest snail if you overfeed, then they can be a great addition to anyone's aquarium. But you do have to watch what goes in with your snails. So this is a rainbowfish aquarium, and the rainbowfish have eaten all the snails in here. Certain fish will predate on snails, so you do just have to watch. But on a normal, peaceful community aquarium, snails are a great addition. As I mentioned earlier in the video, BGN Aquariums has joined forces with a Facebook group, Fish Keeping in the UK, and that is where I've been asked so many questions regarding aquariums and rainbow fish in general. And if you want to know what those questions were and the answers to them, then watch this video next.